Hi guys, welcome back to Hair Dry Treatment. Soph is back with another Richards Ramble. I haven't done one of these for a while. There's obviously a few topics that need talking about right now, so I thought I'd delve into one of these. Hi Paul in the chat, I hope you're good. Emery and he says there, so yeah, obviously a lot of banter with Arsenal fans around Emery at the moment. Personally, I think Emery could be the next manager who's going to get the sack, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I'm guessing that he may be the next manager to go. A lot of Arsenal fans do not agree with me in that one, though. They believe that Emery is quite settled and the board are fairly satisfied with him. They're accepting the performances at the moment and they think that he's going to remain. Good evening, MSC, the game, I hope you're well. So yeah, I'm very undecided about it, but my prediction was that Emery is going to be the next manager to go. We shall see, obviously, that does pan out, but it's an interesting situation. Sterling fights like girl, says Nasri. Hi, Sully BJ as well, hope you're good. Yeah, Raheem Sterling, that was the biggest talking point tonight, obviously. He's gone to England camp following the defeat to Liverpool. He's laid into Gomez. Apparently, he's put his hands around his neck. Obviously, emotions are running high following that defeat the other day. And that's completely the wrong thing to do, obviously, and I'm sure Sterling would admit that. For me, it could have been dealt with better. It should have been dealt with behind closed doors. I think, to be totally honest and say that normally Southgate is quite a classy guy and he keeps it all behind closed doors and all under wraps. That hasn't happened, and it's all been leaked. And I think that was the biggest mistake really from this. I think obviously not having Sterling, probably our best player at the moment for England, not having him in the team is a big it's a big sticking point really. I think it's something that I'm a bit gutted about because I love watching Sterling at the moment. I think he's phenomenal, but at the same time, obviously, you need harmony in the camp, and if Sterling at the moment is the one who isn't causing that, if Sterling is causing uproar, then you have to say it's the right decision. But for me, it shouldn't have got to that point. It should have been dealt with behind closed doors. Sterling should be allowed to stay in the camp, etc., etc. We want him to be playing for England. Like I say, he's in the form of his life at the moment. And yeah, that's my opinions on it. But at the same time, we don't know if someone has leaked it to the press, for example, beforehand, and so Southgate has had to. It's basically his card's been marked. He's had to come out and he's had to say this is what has happened and give a formal statement on obviously the situation with Sterling and Gomez. Maybe his hand has been forced and he's had to then confess to the press. As of course, you would rather your own story be put out there rather than one that the press are going to make up. And maybe that's happened. Who knows? But yeah, I think it's an interesting situation. With most things, I think Southgate has dealt with it properly. However, this one, for me, it should have been dealt with behind closed doors. And that's my one point about this. Sterling maybe not being there, if he is causing disruption, then that is probably the right thing to do. However, if we can have Sterling playing for England, we want Sterling playing for England. And I think if this wasn't leaked to the press, if this hadn't got out, then maybe that could have been continued to happen. So that's the one thing I will say on it, really. Sterling needs to keep his emotions in check. Gomez, of course, he's got the bragging rights. Liverpool, let's face it, they battered City at the weekend. City started off well. VAR, of course, is the usual topic, and I'll discuss that in a minute. But you have to say, Liverpool deservedly got the win in the end. And yeah, so Sterling really, I can see why he's upset. Of course, emotions do run high. Of course, they're competing for the league, and I completely get it. However, you have to say Gomez has got the bragging rights there, and Sterling needs to keep his emotions in check realistically, especially when he's going to England camp. Let's see what some of you guys are saying. So Tim says hello from Canada. Hi Tim, hope you're doing very, very well. I hope you're having a good time out in Canada. I really want to go to Canada. Niagara Falls in particular is somewhere where I'd love to see. It's on my bucket list, definitely. Mark says Sancho is at Champions League club unless United get top 4. So he's saying Sancho will go to a Champions League club and he will not come to United unless we get top 4, which is not looking very likely, but we did get a good result at the weekend, and we'll talk about that in a moment as well. Paul says, Soph, would you take Eriksen at Man United in January? Eriksen, for me, he flicks like in and out of games too much. He's not consistent. From set pieces, he's phenomenal. But if I'm choosing someone to be that creative player, obviously Maddison is the long-term aim for me. Man like Mo has just agreed with me there, said Maddison is the one to go for. However, you've got to say in January, is Maddison a realistic one? Eriksen, I think we could possibly get. He wants something different. He wanted something different, obviously, in the summer. Sanjay, good to have you back. I hope you're doing well as well. I haven't spoken to you for ages. But yeah, I think Eriksen might be realistic. And for a temporary fix, United fans, would you take him? I think temporarily, we are lacking a creative player. Why not go for him? But I think long term, we need to be honest and say Maddison is the guy that we should be looking for. Van der Beek would be dope. Van der Beek is a very good player, Jared. I completely agree with you there. Let's see what other people are saying. VAR isn't the problem. They are using it wrong, said Wesley. Sanjay says, oh, I almost forgot. Good evening to you. Lucas Digne, Son, Ziyech, Deulofeu and Haaland are the players that Pretapan is talking about. Yeah, Lucas Digne, I think, is an absolute steal. I think at Everton he's been a fantastic signing for them. I know he's been captain in a few games as well. He's up and down that wing. For me, he's a fantastic outlet, and I would love to see him at United. I don't know if that's going to happen now. I think it's a bit too late down the line, to be honest with you. But yeah, he's a great signing for Everton. I think he's just gone stride for stride in the Premier League. He's getting better each game he plays. And yeah, I think he's a fantastic talent, definitely. And Ziyech is one that I think he's an absolute baller. I cannot believe he hasn't been snapped up, to be honest with you. Ziyech against Chelsea the other day, that goal he scored, I just can't believe he hasn't been snapped up. I think he's absolutely fantastic. MSC says the Premier League officials are the worst in the world. VAR technology is good. They refuse to use the monitors. There is a reluctance definitely to use the monitors. I'd agree with that. But VAR for me is just simply not consistent enough as well. We talked about Liverpool at the weekend, and I promise you, Liverpool fans, I'm not being a bitter United fan here. I'm just talking on the whole. It could be any team, but Liverpool happens to be the one. That offside goal for Salah, where his knee was blatantly offside. How was that not given? Like, if that's any other team, I'm sorry, but that is given. How have they not even looked at that? And that's baffled me. Ramian is rightly so. He's gloating, saying top of the league. I've already said it. Liverpool, I believe, are going to win the league. Of course, I'm hoping that they slip up. But I'm not being salty, Ramian. I can assure you I'm not. It could have been any other team, but it just baffles me how you can be stood offside. This is why VAR has been brought in. The handball as well. Look at United's handball in the Champions League against PSG. That was given. For me, that was a harsh one. It was given now because the rule is if it hits the hand and it's stopping a goal. Yes, I agree it should have been given. But at the same time, I was equally as frustrated with Aguero from that situation, because I was saying, if Aguero's not there putting his hand up and complaining for a penalty, he could have easily just squared the ball. And I think it was Sterling who was open for the square ball, and he could have easily finished it. So for me, I'm frustrated with Aguero in that situation. You're always taught from a kid to play to the whistle. Aguero should have done that there. Rather than sulking and trying to get the penalty, he could have easily squared it to Sterling, and Sterling could have bagged. And that was the most frustrating thing for there. So although I do agree that VAR should have got involved afterwards, for me, definitely, Sterling should have been passed the ball and he could have scored. And I was frustrated with Aguero just as much as VAR and the ref in that situation. For me, Aguero needs to man up, he needs to continue playing to the whistle, and he should have carried on and they could have scored. There's too many players who crowd around the ref and rely on it now. There's too many players who do that. It frustrates me. In rugby, you never see it. In football, you see it all the time, where players are rolling around the floor and getting around the ref and trying to put pressure on the referee. I don't agree with it. It's a respect thing, and we just haven't got it in football. It's a shame. The Liverpool hate on this app is hilarious. Dear God, let's win it in May. Nasri, I think you are going to win it, to be honest with you. I've already said I would love to see Leicester win the league before Liverpool again, but I know that is very unrealistic, and I think I cannot see Liverpool slipping up to the extent that obviously they would need to know. I cannot see that happening. I think, I'm totally honest, Liverpool are going to win the league, and I think they're going to win it quite easily. For me, City massively regretted not replacing Kompany. Obviously, they've had injuries as well with Laporte. And I think not replacing their main centre-back has been a massive issue for them this season. Defensively, their league goals. Look at them against Liverpool the other day. And don't get me wrong, Liverpool's attacking play is absolutely fantastic. And I completely agree with that. But at the same time, I think you have to look at City's defence, and they just never look confident for me. And Liverpool, rightly so, they were the winners. And like I said, they're going to win the league. I genuinely think that. Josh Can says, no penalty, Soph. Silva handles it before Trent. If you look at the ball, bounces off Silva's hand and then goes on to TAA. Yeah, Josh, it's a valid point, to be fair. And like I say, with that decision, I wasn't that frustrated about the referee or VAR. I was more frustrated with Aguero's reaction. If Aguero reacted and carried on playing and passed the ball to Sterling, it could have quite easily been a goal. It probably would have been ruled out if you're saying he hit Silva's hand first. But he needed to just play to the whistle for me. You're taught from a young kid, play to the whistle. Do not complain to the referee. Do not turn around and try and beg for stuff. Just carry on playing. And I completely... That is my viewpoint on that. I'm not angry towards VAR for that decision. I think genuinely that Aguero should have carried on playing. Depends on the fee. Negotiations with Daniel Levy are never easy. I think the main focus should be opening a dialogue with Leicester for Maddison, says Tim. Ari Ericsson, I agree with you, Tim. I don't think Ericsson is a priority. However, you've got to think about it. In January, it's hard to sign players. We will struggle to get we'll struggle to get Maddison in January, because why on earth would he want to come to us when Leicester are second in the league, absolutely flying? They're going to get Champions League by the looks of it, so why on earth would he be thinking about coming to us? So I think in January, Maddison is a difficult one. Opening the dialogue is a very good point. We need to get good links. Obviously, we've got Maguire, but we've got absolutely rinsed for Harry Maguire from Leicester, and I dread to think what they would ask for Maddison, to be honest with you. I think Eriksen would be slightly more realistic, but you are right, Levy does like to rinse teams, definitely. Let's see what other people are saying in the chat. Mark says, you're saying the league's done, ain't it? It ain't, sorry. Yeah, I think there's a long way to go, of course, and I'm praying that Liverpool slip up. You all know for a fact that I am praying that Liverpool slip up. However, can I realistically see them slipping up to the extent that they don't win the league? No, I can't. I genuinely can't. I would love it if they slip up. From this point now, if they do not win the league, then that will be ultimate banter for me. And I would love it. But I'm saying like Kevin Keegan here. I would absolutely love it if we beat them. No, I think Liverpool are going to win the league. I genuinely believe they're going to, and you have to say rightly so. I think they play their best football. But I've already said it. I genuinely believe that my favourite team to watch this season is Leicester, and I've said it numerous times. I love watching Leicester play this season. I think they're exciting to watch. The signings that they've made have been fantastic, and they're an exciting team to watch, genuinely, and they are my favourite team to watch this season. So I do hope that Leicester do finish highly in the table. I think they're just really entertaining. Jamie Vardy is absolutely on fire, and I love watching them. Carl says United look a bit better. Yeah, obviously we've got a good result against Brighton at the weekend. I was gutted we conceded, to be honest with you, but we got a good result. I got nervous when we conceded, thought we were letting them back in, but we scored right after, which was the perfect timing to do so. Immediately took pressure off our shoulders. Rashford could have bagged a lot more goals, which is what we talk about with him. He's not consistent in front of goal. But again, we see the flashes of brilliance with Rashford like we do week in, week out. I think Martial's link-up play brings a different dimension to our team now. We've got a player who stays central and his link-up play is much better. And James, as usual, James is our main outlet. James is the bright spark for me. I think he makes stuff happen. I love the way he works back, how he gets forward at pace. Obviously, he squared that ball for Rashford and he missed an absolute sitter. But I think, imagine if we had a top striker playing, the amount of assists that Dan James could get for United, I think it could be ridiculous. And Fred looked fantastic as well. Carl just said that there. Fred, I think, had a fantastic game. McTominay looked good. I'm hoping his injury isn't too bad as well. But across the board, it was a decent game. You have to say, like, I thought we played well. I thought we played well, and it was a game where we quite easily could have slipped up. It could have been a banana skin for us of a game, that one against Brighton. But we played well. I'm just hoping that after this international break we can bounce back now and show the kind of form that we know as a team. We know that we can produce it. When Ollie first took over, we know we can play this exciting football, but we need to see it more consistently, week in, week out, against the kind of teams that are going to sit in against us. We need to be able to break them down, and I thought we did that against Brighton. I thought we played well. Like I say, we could have scored many more goals. Luckily, we haven't turned out with a draw, for example, for missing so many chances. Luckily, we have got the 3 points at the end of it. But I think it was a positive step forwards, definitely. But of course, we have to hold your hands up and say it's Brighton. There's an international break now. We need to hope that players do not get injured in the international break. And then again, we return straight after it with the kind of football that we saw against Brighton. I hope we keep this up now and we hit a good run of form. Sean Richards, hello Dad. He says, will United finish higher than Wolves? Yeah, we will. We'll finish above Wolves, definitely. The Wolves Villa game was a good one at the weekend. Again, Neves with a great strike. Definitely got it in his locker. He seems to always score against United, doesn't he? But yeah, Wolves I think having a fantastic season, but I still think United are going to finish above them. And I'm praying United finish above them for my own sanity, to be honest with you. VAR is a joke, Soph, lol. I don't like it. I've said this many times before. I do not like VAR. I think the rule on the handballs anyway, I think there's too much ambiguity about it anyway. But I genuinely think that VAR spoils it. It takes the emotion out of the game. You cannot celebrate a goal now without waiting for a check and stuff like that, for example. And that's what upsets me. Thank you so much, Alex, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Hi, Soph. Any coincidence that we look better now we have Martial back in the side? Also, thoughts on the punch-up between Gomez and Sterling? First, I'll talk about Martial coming back in. I've just mentioned it. It gives us a different dimension because he stays central and his link-up play is fantastic, and I do think that. And I think he's our most natural goal scorer. I was gutted he didn't score at the weekend. I thought he played well. Obviously, got 2 assists. On the whole, I think he's an intelligent player, and like I say, he's someone that we can play feet to. And it also gives a license to Rashford to then run behind him. I'm loving seeing the link up between Rashford and Martial as well. I think they're starting to flourish their relationship. I think you can see they're both oozing confidence on the pitch and they're bouncing off each other, and I absolutely think that's fantastic. Ari Sterling, I think it's upsetting really. I think Sterling has been painted in such a good light recently. People backing him because he's such a role model and such a character. It's that winning mentality, isn't it? Obviously, Man City have lost against Liverpool. He's gutted about that. Naturally, you would be. And he had a bit of a... On the pitch, he was pushing Gomez, wasn't he? And there was a bit of to-ing and fro-ing. And then he's obviously carried that on into the England camp. He isn't very professional. At the same time, emotions do run high. And like I say, he's sign of champion. He wants to win. Like any good player, he does. But there's a line, and he's definitely crossed that. However, the concern with me is how it's been leaked out into the press. For me, it should have been dealt with behind closed doors, in a way that Sterling can continue to play for England and Sterling can stay, because he is the most informed player we have got internationally right now. So I'm gutted Sterling cannot play. Is it Southgate's fault that it's been leaked? Who knows? For all we know, it could have already been leaked out into the press, and so Southgate has had to speak out and he's had to act on it, and he's had to obviously give his side of the story, because you'd rather have your story being put out rather than what the press are going to say and how the press are going to twist it. And I think there's two ways to look at it. Because of the leak, I think it's the right decision to send Sterling obviously away from the squad. Yeah, I think he does need to make a point of it, because like I say, he's a role model, and you need to know that you can't go around grabbing people around the throat or whatever it was that he did. And I'll completely agree with that. However, for me, it shouldn't have got to that point. It shouldn't have been the case where it has been leaked out, and that should have happened. Nasri says Sancho to Liverpool in 2020. Who knows? Liverpool, obviously, if they win the league, I'm going to say there, but they're on the way up. They're playing fantastic football. For me, Mane, though, is one of the most underrated players, definitely in the Premier League. He makes stuff happen for Liverpool. I absolutely think he's a fantastic player. His work ethic, he fights for every ball, he's such a threat all the time, and he's, in my eyes, far more valuable than what Salah is. I don't know if Liverpool fans agree with that, but I'm way more impressed with Mane than I am Salah. I think he makes stuff happen. When he's on form, Liverpool are on form for me, and obviously he's a goal scorer as well. He's scored a lot of goals, but I think he's such a threat going forwards. And I remember United being linked with him a while back, obviously coming from Southampton, and I remember thinking, I do hope we get him, because I think he's such an exciting player. He's strong, he's built perfectly for the Premier League, and like I say, he bangs goals in for fun realistically, and I think he's such an underrated player. As is Firmino though. Firmino's link-up play, a bit like Martial in the sense that he stays fairly centrally, but his link-up play is fantastic. Again, he can score goals, but I think he's such an intelligent player, and that front three are just so dangerous to play off each other, the fluidity, their understanding. It's fantastic, and you have to hold your hands up even as a United fan and say, you know what, that team plays some fantastic football. The way the fullbacks bomb forward and the delivery as well, you cannot take it away from them. No matter how much you want to as a United fan, you have to hold your hands up and say, you know what, they deserve to be where they are in the table right now. They're playing the best football, definitely. I'm just hoping that they can be pushed right to the end at least. I don't want it to be a big gap. I don't want to make it easy for them, and we've got to pray that they slip up, of course. They haven't been playing the most convincing against Villa, for example. They weren't playing the most convincing of football. They conceded goals. I'm just hoping that one of these times it doesn't go for them and they do slip up. But like I say, that is wishful thinking on my behalf. You have to say they fully deserve where they are right now, and credit to them. And I want to talk about Emery at Arsenal. Obviously, for me, I think Arsenal fans, they've had it with him. They've absolutely had it. They're done. They had the old Xhaka incident, of course, at the weekend. They lost to Leicester, as many people predicted they would. Like I say, Leicester, for me, are the most exciting team to watch. I love watching Leicester play this season. But I think, if you look at it on the whole, Emery, how much longer has he actually got? Because the fans are done with him. The board are still backing him and supporting him, but the majority of fans are absolutely done with him. It does look like Dracula. I literally always say that. Good evening, obviously, something that we always say. But for me, like, they rely on a bit of magic from Aubameyang, Lacazette, maybe even Pepe you could put into that. Other than that, at the back, their reliability. The midfield, for me, they'll either turn up or they don't. They're so inconsistent. Is that then down to the manager? Is it players? Is it the recruitment? Should it all fall on Emery's shoulders? And I'm really interested from an Arsenal fan's point of view to hear what the actual honest opinion is on Emery. Because obviously we look at it as United fans from the outside and we look at where you are on the table, the results that you get week in, week out. Aubameyang, for me, someone just said he's a tapping merchant and he should leave. I've got to say I disagree with that. I think Aubameyang is a fantastic player. I think he's a goal scorer and he's the bright spark really for Arsenal this season. Is he captain material? Probably not, but he's their best player, and the fact that he was getting stick from the fans, I think that says a lot as well. There's definitely a lot of unsettled there. Emery has refused to play Oba, Laka and Pepe and Ozil together. That's on him. I completely agree. I'm absolutely baffled at the fact why he doesn't play Laka, Lacazette, Aubameyang together, definitely as a two. I've always said when them two play that they're so threatening going forwards. Pepe is yet to really prove me wrong, but maybe he needs to run a games in the side. And Ozil, obviously, he's had his own issues, and since he's come back and he's shown in flashes what he can definitely bring. Ozil is a player for me that he needs to play. He's such an intelligent player. He's creative, obviously. He knows how to unlock defences. He's got the vision. He's got the passing ability. You have to say, if Lacazette and Aubameyang are playing in front of Ozil, you would imagine they're going to get chances, because that's the kind of player Ozil is. He creates chances, and it baffles me as why he hasn't been playing, and why. Obviously, there was an incident between him and Emery. There was an incident with Xhaka recently as well, which tells me there's an unsettled dressing room. Is that then down to Emery? Should he stay? Should he go? Sanjay says work rate is the problem with Ozil. I completely agree. He does strike me as a bit of a lazy player. You see him stropping around quite a lot as well. But at the same time, under Emery, he wasn't given many chances to prove himself as well. Something has obviously happened in the background with him there. Arsenal United last season with Jose Mourinho. Good comparison. Soph Pepe is a new Bebe, 72 million flop. He's yet to prove me wrong. He's took, 2 good free kicks in the time he's been there. Soph, you should manage Arsenal and relegate them, says Ramian. Ramian says, Soph, remember Arsenal fans, wait until Holding comes back. He's back, yeah. The defence for me is the big thing at Arsenal. Obviously, David Luiz was brought in to be their rock at the back, their leader. He's none of them. For me, he's an absolute liability. Yes, he can take a free kick every now and again. Yes, he'll make the odd good tackle and he's decent with the ball at his feet. But for me, he makes far too many mistakes. He's not a leader. His head drops. He's just a muppet. I genuinely believe David Luiz is just a muppet. I do not like him, and when I signed him I was happy because I was thinking, you know what, he is not the answer to their problems at all. He's a big name, but he's definitely not the answer. So, Steve says, so do you think the international break will be good for United or not? It's an interesting one. Good comment there saying everyone leave a like. Please make sure you do drop a like, guys. I do appreciate it. International break for me, I think we've had obviously a good game against Brighton. Confidence is high. At the same time, I do not want to burn players out. Obviously, McTominay's just got injured as well. I'm hoping that he's back by the time the international break is finished, because I think he's a very valuable player for us now. People do not like to admit it, but I think that he's a crucial player for us right now. McDominator, as I like to call him for a bit banter. But for me, I think it's a bit of both. I think we're on a good run of form, so you could say the confidence we could take it into the next game. Players are looking a bit tired, because obviously our squad is weak and players are playing. That could obviously be why McTominay as well is injured. I know obviously he rolled his ankle, but that could contribute to that. I think players are looking a bit tired, so a rest would be good for some players who aren't out on international break. Obviously we've got injuries. Pogba and Bailly, we're hearing of getting back into training now, which is fantastic, and I think it gives time for players who are injured, McTominay as well, to get back. So I think it's a bit of both. I think for our run of form, it's probably not the best of things, because obviously we've just beaten Brighton, and now I'm just hoping that we don't lose it now. I hope we don't lose that confidence and that fluidity over the international break. I'm hoping that Rashford, for example, grabs a few goals. Last time he did, and since that, to be fair, he hasn't looked back. I know he missed a few sitters at the weekend, but I think on the whole his confidence is high, he's playing well, and he scored some goals as well. So I think hopefully we get some more confidence, some more goals over the international break, and I take that into United's run. I think it's a good thing based on the injuries. I think it gives people time to get back into the swing of it. I saw someone praising my titles there, obviously LiVARpools and LiVARpools. So yeah, appreciate that. It's all just for a bit of banter. Liverpool fans know that. Liverpool fans know it. They bite, but they know it. So yeah, international break, obviously. We'll discuss that. Me and Meg are doing a show tomorrow as well. Soph and Meg show as usual. It's going to be Wednesday this week. We're going to be talking about referees. We're going to be talking about racism in football. Yeah, it should be really interesting. And we're going to be talking about red cards as well. So we're going to debate some red cards that are being given, that haven't been given, VAR decisions as well, and a lot of racism that's going on in football right now. And we absolutely do not agree with it and we think it should be gone. Not just in football, in the world, but racism is wrong, it's not acceptable, and we want to have a bit of a debate about that. So tomorrow's show we make should be a very interesting one. We'll be live from 6 o'clock talking about that. Hello girl, hello mum, we've got the whole family tuning in tonight. So yeah, back on tomorrow live talking about racism, referees, VAR, which is a massive talking point right now. I've already told you my opinions on it. For me, it shouldn't remain, it shouldn't stay. I think it's done. Obviously we're meant to be reviewing it at the end of the season and saying what I feel about it. For me, I hate it, I do not like it. 9 times out of 10, yeah, maybe it does get to the right decision at the end of it, but it's got to be consistent. There's always inconsistencies, because it's still a bloke at the end of the day sat behind a computer screen looking at it. It's still a bloke sat there, and it's still down to that guy's, well, it could be a woman to be fair, don't want to be sexist, but there's still someone there sat behind a screen who's making that ultimate decision. So there's still inconsistencies for me. As someone mentioned earlier, we're not using it correctly, we're not using the monitor at all. The referee needs to get more involved with that. It takes too long to make a decision, and finally, like I said, you cannot even celebrate a goal now. It takes the emotion completely out of it. Scoring a last minute winning, you want to go and celebrate with the fans, and then it's being ruled out, for example. It just takes that element out of it for me. So I don't like VAR, I'm against it. I kind of enjoyed it. I know we'd have a moan after games about, oh, that goal was given but it was definitely offside. I know you'd have a bit of a moan, but that's football for me. You like to have a bit of a moan afterwards, you like to have a debate with your mates, for example, and everyone's got a different opinion, and that's why we love football so much. I've said this on my channel before, and I saw something tweeted yesterday between United Stand and Full-Time Devils. I think it was Gaz, wasn't it, who commented on Rizzy's tweet. Rizzy, fair play to you for getting your opinion in. As I always say on my channel, everybody's entitled to an opinion. If you agree with it or you don't agree with it, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, everyone is entitled to it. You're fair enough for sharing it. I appreciate that. Do not take it to heart what was said about it afterwards. You know what, fair play to you. And like I say, there's no right or wrong opinion from me. Football is all about opinions. That's what makes it so interesting. That's why we love it. We've all got different opinions, and that's the way it should be. Mystery, thank you so much for that. It says like, share and subscribe, please. Making sure you go and check out his channel as well. Appreciate it. And of course, as always, if I haven't answered your chat, you know I'll always try and answer it afterwards. So drop a comment on the video as well. Gaz was on here having a laugh, and he apologised today for that. I appreciate Gaz apologising. I think that was the right thing for him to do. I'm not slating any channels or anything like that. I'm just trying to say that everybody's entitled to opinion at the end of the day. You know what, we're all, I'm going to talk from a United fan point of view. I have a lot of hate on my Twitter from United fans because they don't agree with my opinion. But at the end of the day, don't take it personally, because we all want United to do well. If you don't want United to do well, then you're not a United fan, are you? We all want United to do well. We're all entitled to our opinions, and it's the same with any other team. Never take it to heart, and never feel like you can't share your opinion, because what's the point in loving football if you can't do that? And that's definitely the way it should be. So yeah, I think you should always speak out, always share your opinion. There'll be someone who agrees with you, there'll be someone who doesn't. That's just the way it works, and that's the way it goes. Hi Dougette, hope you're good. I'm very well, thank you. And yeah guys, I'll be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock for the Soph and Meg show. Some good debates coming up, definitely. But thank you so much for choosing in, I appreciate it. Subscribe to Hair Dry Treatment if you haven't already as well, of course. Hit that sub button, I appreciate it. Drop a like on the video. Thank you so much to Alex as well for the super chat, I really do appreciate it. Have a good evening guys, take care.